Belated Happy Children's Day.
Grown-up children.
We are children. Time is not measured by passing years, but by what one does and what one feels and what one achieves, said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This is called upon Sergeant at Arms. Meeting etiquettes to be followed in the Toastmasters meeting are: please put your third on silent mode. Third hand, it's mobile phones. Can I get affirmation?
Yes.
Move only when you hear applause. Don't walk in the middle, it disturbs both the speakers and the listeners. Refrain from talking about SRP, managing people, don't confuse. It is not strategic resource planning, it's sex, religion, and politics. If so, take into consideration that it should not hurt any other feelings or sentiments. After India-China war, Nehru was afraid that we could not win the war due to lack of arms and amenities. Nehru bought amenities from America, but to deliver it in India, bank as surety. None of the banks were ready to give surety to India. While discussing this with Dr. Ambedkar, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, he informed the Nehru to cancel the license of the banks, the native banks of America. Then Nehru called the native banks of America and said, sign the surety or move out of India. The banks suddenly signed the surety and weapons reached India. This trailblazing incident led India to buy more weapons from many countries, and now we are the superpowers in arms and amenities. Let me introduce a person who believes that dress to impress others. I never saw him in casual attire in any of the meetings at Toastmasters Club. He gave insight that he dressed in formals so that his students may remember that he is a teacher, not a student. Please help me in welcoming one of the youngest president of our club, Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt.
Good evening. Welcome to the legendary and iconic Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Very happy to see all of you today, this evening. I call to order meeting number 1403 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. The minutes of the previous meeting, 1402, was sent by the secretary over mail to all the members. Are there any amendments to the same? I pass the minutes of meeting 1402. Do we have first time guests amongst us with us? Can you please stand, introduce yourself? Can you tell your name and what you know about the club?
Hi everyone, this is Nitesh Kumar. I'm not basically from Mali, I'm from Jharkhand. I had worked Toastmasters few years back, and recently I got interested that I should join, so that got me here.
You're in the right place.
Hello everyone, I'm Shashank. I used to be a member 4 years ago, but I couldn't attend, so rejoined. I'm starting to attend again.
Hello everyone, my name is Uma Shankri Arundas. I'm from Malaysia. I'm an aerospace engineer, so I came here for a conference tomorrow and the day after. So I just thought of perhaps pay a visit to the Bangalore Toastmasters Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters is a place where I always feel home and welcome. So thank you so much. I feel very much regaled with everyone who spoke to me today. Thank you.
Remember a second, how do we welcome all our beloved guests? Have you heard about Howard Schultz? Anyone here? Who's he? He is the former CEO of Starbucks. But do you know how his childhood was? He was born and brought up through poverty. There were times when they didn't have proper meals to eat. There were times when he had to sell his blood to survive. He was born to a couple. His father was working as a part-time truck driver, a retired army veteran. Poverty, not much to eat, drink. But when he was in his 7th grade, his father met with an accident and broke his leg. Eventually, he was fired from his job. At that point of time, they didn't have enough money to survive. They didn't have money to eat or drink water. That image of his father sitting on the couch, helpless, hopeless, and crushed, changed Howard's impression of life forever. To come out of this sad situation, he used to sit on the terrace of his house and dream of a better life. He somehow sailed through to college, where again he found it very difficult to pay his college fees. He used to work in 3 different jobs to fund his college fees. At that point of time, when money was not sufficient, he had to sell his own blood multiple times just to have some food. Finally, graduated from his college, but he wanted to really work at Starbucks. He went and approached the owners of Starbucks. There were 3 owners at that point of time. They were in the business of trading coffee beans. 1 year, he convinced the owners for 1 year, and finally he was employed at Starbucks. During his course of his employment, he had an opportunity to go to Italy on a business trip. When he went to a small local shop in Italy, he was surprised to see, he went to a coffee shop there, he was surprised to see the hospitality and he really enjoyed it. The owners knew all the customers, they addressed the customers by their names. They were so close, the bonding was so close. He thought about this, came back to Starbucks and tried to convince his owners regarding this new idea. But they rejected him on his face. So he finally quit Starbucks and created his own entity called Il Giornale. 1 year he struggled for funding. He approached 242 people, out of which 218 people rejected his idea on his face. He felt hopeless, but he never gave up. Few others who supported him, funded him, and the business boomed. And after a couple of years, Starbucks was bankrupt. And guess what? He acquired Starbucks. He merged his entity with Starbucks and made Starbucks to what it is today. It's a $200 billion entity as of today, with more than 5,000 units across the globe. He tells us, I dreamt of things which others could not even imagine dreaming. I didn't want to dream small. I dreamed big always. And I always dreamt big. And when others told me it's not possible to do, I took it as a challenge and did it. And that is why I am the way I am today. In fact, this actually helped me in my career as well. There were a couple of times when my startup did not work properly, I wanted to quit. But again, I thought about Howard. And that extra Josh can take you somewhere from nowhere. And I still follow his principles even today. Even at Toastmasters, when we are going through some lows, there are a lot of veteran and experienced members for us to talk to. They have already tried the blaze. It's for us to follow them. And after a few years, it is time for us to set the trail, to blaze the trail for others to follow us. On that note, let me welcome the next person on stage, the Toastmaster of the day. She is the Deputy Director at Indian Machine Tools Manufacturers Association, mother of two, a Toastmaster from 5 years now. She was the past president for 2 different terms. Moreover, she was the one who pushed me to take up the role of treasurer 3 terms back, because of which I am standing in front of you today as the president. Please put your hands together to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Hannah Victoria.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Mr. President. A very good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
What does a trailblazer mean? What do you mean? What comes to your mind when you hear of the word trailblazer?
A go-getter.
Okay,
Leading a blazing trail.
okay. Pioneer, great. A blazer, actual blazer, okay. Any examples of trailblazers? What comes to your mind?
Ralph is mentally.
Virat Kohli.
Okay.
Virat Kohli.
Yes. Anybody else? Are we all trailblazers in our own ways?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All of us are, because how much ever we follow another person, our own path is unique. Nobody will get the experiences, the environment we are in. So we come in unique and we go out unique. But our founder, I guess he's a real trailblazer. As Toastmaster Sheep said, one of the examples of a trailblazer is Ralph C. Smedley. He started the first, being a trailblazer is basically, I feel, is just a byproduct. But what you do, the intent with what you do, your service or your work, that is primary. Trailblazer, yes, after you're gone, you've blazed the trail. Yes. So he started off, Ralph C. Smedley, he started off with an intent to improve communication skills of the young men who he was in charge of. So that was his intent. The first club he started, or the meeting he started, was in 1905 in Illinois. But the idea didn't catch on. He started a few clubs, a couple of clubs, and then only in 1924 he went on to have a proper Toastmasters club. And then 1924, 1930, the first 30 clubs were formed. And all the while he was still working. He was working in the YMCA. And in only 1941 did he quit his full-time job and join Toastmasters. And I was eager to see, when he is the founder of the Toastmasters movement, so who took over after him? And I googled that out. None of his family is mentioned. He had a daughter, wife, but nothing is mentioned. And the secretary took over from him. And I thought that was such a large-hearted, normally when we start something, we tend to pass it on to our family. But the secretary took on, and it's flourished. What started out in 1924 as one club, in 2023, we are 14,200 clubs in 148 countries with a membership of 2,48,000 members. So I guess he is a real hero. A typical Toastmaster meeting is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is the prepared speeches. Now, prepared speeches are the members. This evening we have 4 members presenting their speeches. They are mentored and they pursue their particular path in Toastmasters. And there are 4 different kinds of speeches in Toastmasters. One is to instruct, to inform, to persuade, and then to influence and to entertain. So every speech falls under one of these 4 categories. The second session is called the impromptu session, where a topic is given to a person on stage and they will speak. It's a generic topic and they will speak for 1 to 2 minutes. This, my friends, is a great skill in the outside world to develop. One of the most important aspects which we take out is impromptu speaking skills. The third session is the evaluation session. Now the meeting the chairman of the meeting is called the general evaluator, and he has a team of evaluators and auxiliary role takers, which is called as the tag team. I will introduce to you the tag team. May I request Toastmaster Nagesh Rao to please spell out the role of the timer.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As the timer, it is my duty to time and record the duration of the entire meeting and its individual parts. For today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in duration. At 5 minutes, I will hold up the green card, 6 minutes yellow card, and 7 minutes the red card. Table topic speeches are from 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will hold up the green card, 1.5 minutes, I will hold up the yellow card, and 2 minutes the red card. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report to the general evaluator and submit to the club secretary in order to become a part of permanent record.
Thank you. May I now request the R counter, Toastmaster Saloni, to please spell out your name.
Good evening, everyone. So, does anyone like the buffering in the internet? Or the loading sign on your laptop or computer? That's the exact thing the founders does in your speech. So today, as our founder, I'll be making note of all the crutch words and the unnecessary pauses and make a note of it and support my report at the end of the week.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saloni. May I now request the grammarian, our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Jose Paul, to please spell out the grammarian role.
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good evening to the meeting. As a grammarian, I have two important roles. The first one is to make a note of the good and the not so good usage of the language and report it at the end of the meeting. And the second one is to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is regale. It means to entertain people with stories or jokes. An example of this usage would be, we have Toastmaster Nitin amongst us today, and so we can be sure that we will have he will regale us with some interesting China experience.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jose. We now move on to the first section of this meeting, that is the prepared speeches. The evaluator for this first speech, he's a relatively new Toastmaster. He's been a Toastmaster for just 6 months, but he has a lot to his credit. The biggest is that he won 2nd place in the evaluation contest, which we held recently at our club. He loves cooking, running, and he's a BSc. He's pursuing his BSc in Statistics and Computer Science in St. Joseph's University. Please join me. May I request you to please read up the guidelines, please.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The speaker 1 is attempting level 1, project 2 of the leadership development program. Her purpose for today's speech is to learn and review basic methods of writing a speech with a definite purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note, it is 5 to 7 minutes. All the questions.
Thank you. The speaker is in her teens, and I'm really excited because I don't know when I was last a teen. She loves trekking and she loves learning new languages. And guess what her favorite subjects are? Zoology, chemistry, and biology. She wants to pursue in the research field. Please join. Her speech title is A Guide Through Shreya's Life. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Shreya Sadbol on stage.
Life's best lessons are learned through experience and not explanation. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
Learning lessons from experience is like cooking. Sometimes you burn the spaghetti, but at least you know how to use a flamethrower next time. I have, just like how life takes you forward step by step, I'll take you through my guide in 3 parts, which I've abbreviated as RTH, which it technically should be standing for really tiny human based on my appearance, but that is not what it really stands for. It stands for the famous foods of all states that have spent a fair amount of life and learned a lesson or two. Let's dive right in. The R stands for Avda practice. Any guesses where it's from? Yeah, you are correct. It's from Maharashtra. This is the place where I've spent a lot of time and learned my lesson number 1, which is cherish this time which you spend with your friends and family. So it was summer season, which means holiday season for all the younger kids. My daily routine used to be wake up early in the morning, which I certainly don't do now. Then go back down to play in the early morning, come back home to eat lunch, do a little bit of homework because I want to continue living in my home. Then run back down in the evening to regale my lovely neighbors. My friends and I used to think that we played the best amongst all of them. Until every Sunday after 7 p.m., the only thought that would be going in our mind would be, ego crushers arrived on time. Little did I know that these memories, these incidents will become a memory because one by one, each people will start getting transferred. The next letter is T, which stands for Thepla. Any guesses?
Gujarat.
Okay, all of you are correct. It stands for Gujarat. So here I learned my lesson number 2, which stands for never let go of a hobby. I used to go to a dance class, Bharatanatyam dance class to be specific. And after the class would get over, I would eat charts with my mom. The way that our teacher would teach would always left me in awe. Such grace, such elegance, always pushed me to learn more and more from her. And always pushed me to learn more and more from her. Little did I know that whenever I would enter the class, it would be such a peaceful environment that I would forget all the stress that I had. And till date, I have not figured out that whether it is a teacher who I miss or the charts that I miss more. The H, as always, I save the best for the last. The H stands for hot, delightful holiday. Kanda, please note that was to stop my mouth from salivating. So, hot, delightful holiday. Please tell me the correct answer. It stands which state? Okay, thank you. Holiday is from Karnataka. This here I learned my lesson number 3, which is when one door closes, another one opens itself. This was when COVID-19 decides to experiment with all sorts of people, be it extrovert or introvert or ambivert. I used to belong in a species called purebred introvert, with a sign that says, kindly do not interact with this species until you have read a book how to deal with awkward silence. With COVID-19 secluding all sorts of socializing and all the tough times that we all used to go through, it put me back in a shell. Fast forwarding to the time when everything was back to normal, At this moment, a close friend of mine, whom you can always see in blazers and formal wear in special occasions, introduced me to Toastmasters. And I had the opportunity to taste Sarika ma'am's delicious snacks at that moment and make friends who truly supported me. And also a mentor who just knows how to mentor me. Till this moment, I'll always be grateful to that person. Here, I'm after being a member of this Toastmaster Club for around 4 months. I'm sure that the time had changed to kindly interact with species if you want to have one shot of fun. And after a few months, I'll be sure to have I'm sure that it will turn to kindly do not interact with species unless you know how to make them speechless. I would like to conclude the guide to Shreya's life by saying, be grateful for your friends who support you. Be grateful for your family who keeps you on the right track. Be grateful for your mentor who guides you. And most importantly, be grateful for Priyanka who gives us peace lot into yourself.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya. It was a real journey through your life and good memories to relish. We now move on to the second speech. The evaluator for the second speech, he's a seasoned Toastmaster. He works for Bosch and he has a hawk's eye for every detail, a real hawk in our club. He has served our club as the treasurer and as a vice president education in the past. Request Toastmaster Abhay Kothari to please read the guidelines.
I'm the Toastmaster. I hope we don't need my salt and peppers. The purpose statement of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance speech. Time manager, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. The second speaker, he joined our club recently, but he's been a Toastmaster for a long time. He first came to know about Toastmasters while he was in Dubai. And I asked him, what is the life lesson you learned in Dubai? Because Dubai can teach you a lot of lessons. So he said, one of the life lessons he has learned is that don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need. It's not a sign of weakness. Currently, he's a consultant consulting with SMEs, and the title of his speech is Grandma. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Sheep Kumar.
What are the values you live by? And what are the values you live by? It's a question worth pondering. Madam Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmaster and distinguished guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Back in Kerala, when I was a boy, March 31st was the date every kid was looking forward. End of homework, exams, dang. Welcome, the vacation. That's when I moved to my grandma's house to spend the next 60 days. Freedom! Said my parents. My grandma's house was a 2-story building with 8 bedrooms. While I slept with my grandma, my cousins and my uncle slept in the adjacent room. A woman, frail as a flower, light as a feather. At 80, my grandma was a vibrant, valiant village woman. She was the end of every argument in our family. beginning of many arguments in our family. At dinner table, oh boy, she was so loud. She would make gurgling sounds, occasionally tossing her fingers into her mouth to dislodge the dentures on the plate. My grandma could sing and brush her teeth at the same time. Can you? She was my constant companion. Back in the bedroom, that's where she took the center stage. She always had nice things to say. She was better than the TV. At bedtime, she would take me on a journey to faraway fairylands where everything was bright and beautiful. And at night, she snored like a bear. That's how I imitate my grandma. It often began with a clemento, progresses into a crescendo. At times, it would stop. That's when I get up from my bed in this darkness and wonder, has she just died? I would extend my hands to see if she's breathing. She's not dead. Yet. Like an engine that's been re-cranked, she would sputter, mutter, say something in gibberish and things all over. Now you know why my cousins and uncles are sleeping in the next room. One day, my grandma called me, "Sheep, come here. I will tell you something that you would never tell anybody." I went to my grandma. She sat me down, looked straight into my eyes and said, "Sheep, I think you are special. I think you can do anything you want to do. I want you to promise two things." "Yes, Grandma." "Promise me, son, that you will always love your mother. Promise me that you will never touch alcohol like your grandfather." I was just 12 years old. Without blinking an eye, I said, "Yes, Grandma, I promise." "But Grandma, can I ask you something?" "Yes, my dear." "Can I look at the girls?" "You are like your grandfather." Years passed away. My grandma also passed away. I passed out from the college. Now a young man. Even though grandma was not there, our family was still a well-knit one. On such family get-together occasion, my cousins Sudhir and Manoj, I saw them walking into the nearest woods. That's a place full of mango trees and cashew trees. They invited me. I saw my cousins carrying a carton, a small carton. A carton full of beer? Wow. Manoj and Sudhir offered me beer. I said, "I'm not going to have any beer. I don't want." Sudhir said, "Come on, Sheep. We've been together in everything. Have a beer." I said, No, I'm not going to have any beer. "Come on, man. It's only 7% alcohol. Even the biscuits you eat have some amount of alcohol." By seeing my behavior, Sudhir and Manoj looked into each other's eyes and burst out in laughter. I was wondering why they're laughing. Sudhir said, "Sheep, I hope you are not still hung up with the promise Grandma had with you." "What promise?" "Come on, man. For Grandma, every grandchild is special. And she made a promise with everyone not to drink alcohol." Oh my God. I was like a boy who just discovered that Santa never exists. I was like a deflated balloon. All these years, I felt that I was a special child of Grandma. It took me a while to come out of the depression. But when I realized, all my cousins said, Grandma loved each of my cousins. When you talk to her, you can feel that love in her eyes. You can see that in her voice. She was a
ordinary lady with an extraordinary woman who knew how to treat people with respect and love. Grandma showed us that dealing with people is like digging for gold. When you dig for the gold, you don't look for the dirt. You look for the gold. Grandma lived her whole life with that value, and she persuaded and inspired, like a Toastmaster, to imbibe that value within us. I'm nowhere near to my grandma, but I am trying. What are the values you live by? And what are the values you live by? Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sheep. This, your speech, brought memories of my grandmother. I would love, no, I hated my grandmother. I really hated her. I'll tell you why. I can't stop myself from telling you, because every vacation we went to Salem, and whenever we went to Salem, both my mother and she patched up like this. Kus, 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 and it just irritated me. And I would keep telling my mother, what are you going on talking to her? Leave her, no. I am there, no. And in the night, if they both sleep together, I will go sleep in between, put my hand, put my leg on my mother, push her that side so that she doesn't sleep next to her mother. But all the gifts from my grandmother, I enjoyed. But I developed that she was close to my mother. I developed a little bit of that jealousy was there in me, which never went off actually till the end. So now coming to the third speech. The evaluator of this speech, he's the humor king, absolute humor king. And anytime you ask him, how are you? He'll say, I'm top of the world. Standard reply, any time of the day, any time of the year, I would say, top of the world. He's got the highest title in Toastmasters. He's a distinguished Toastmaster. He's a corporate trainer by profession. May I request DTM Vijayanand to please read the guidelines.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. The purpose of this project is to remember to deliver speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he or she uses non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. Time manager, it's 5 to 7. Back to the team.
Thank you. The third speaker, I hold a lot of regard and respect for. One of the reasons I'm standing on the stage is this Toastmaster. But I will tell you another day how he helped me stand on the stage. By profession, he's a CA and he's an entrepreneur. Another very interesting fact about this Toastmaster is that he's an author. He wrote the book of Grit and Guts. This is an interesting and inspiring trailblazer story of a father telling the story about a son telling a story about his father, and how his father, from very, very humble beginnings, went on to have not only a successful career, but in the hotel industry, but also the hotel he was working in flourished. He had given that hotel his all. The title of his speech today is Staying the Course. Please welcome Toastmaster Ganesh Pai.
In 1979, a tragic sightseeing plane crashed into a mountain in Antarctica, claiming the lives of all 279 passengers on board. Investigation revealed that the plane had deviated by just 2 degrees, leading to a collision with the mountain instead of safely flying over a lake. This incident gave birth to rise of 1 in 60 rule in aviation industry, which states that with 1 degree variation, if you fly 60 miles, you are 1 mile off from your destination. Just to contextualize, let's say you are traveling from Whitefield to attend Friday meeting at Ashirva, and if you drift by 1 degree, instead of reaching BTMC, you land at FODs. So Toastmasters and guests, today I will be talking about how direction is important, not only for planes, but also for businesses. How do businesses get their strategic direction right? First and foremost, the companies need to make a leap from best practice to next practice. Let me tell you what do I mean by that. Strategy is not about embracing the best practices like TQM, just in time, or Kaizen. It is about envisioning the next practice. Ask yourself, how can we be more competitive tomorrow than we were yesterday? Take for example, Indigo, which excels in its commitment towards punctuality, on time, every time. To achieve this, they introduced ramps and 3 exit gates for passengers to disembark, which has helped them to save time considerably. Now, all airlines could have done it, but it was Indigo who thought and executed. While Kingfisher was busy concentrating on getting best models, it was Indigo which was perfecting its business model. Number 2, concept is king, but the context is kingdom. Now, in today's business world, there are many theories which tell you how to run your business. Say McKinsey's 7S, Porter's 5 forces, BCG metrics. But all these theories, if you don't analyze into your context, it doesn't make any sense. Let me explain you what do we mean by that. What works for a brick and mortar retailer like DMart will not work for an app-based player like BigBasket, isn't it? So like that, you need to see what works for you. You need to stress test your assumptions. If your team says our sales are, or the consumer spending is going to go up by 7%, counter them, ask them what will happen if it goes up by only 5%. Worse, if it shrinks by 2%, what will happen? So the hallmark of a true strategist is to contextualize the strategy in which you are applying. Number 3, VUCA for VUCA. Buzzer? Yeah, let me explain this. So the term VUCA, which arose in military long back and found its widespread use in business world. The term sums up the challenges which are tied to an ever-shifting environment and an unpredictable scenario. VUCA, an acronym for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, merely describe the situation. It doesn't offer you any solution. To thrive in a VUCA environment, we need a VUCA again. What is the other VUCA? First, V for versatility. In cricketing term, it is akin to being a multi-skilled player. One who can bowl well, one who can bat well, and a good captain as well. Hardik Pandya, if you will. From a business perspective, the business need to willingly adopt the new business models. Take for example, Reliance Retail and its omni-channel play with Trends, AJIO, and JioMart. U stands for uncomfortable. In an uncertain future, you must find the courage to move forward even when the path is unclear. COVID tested our ability to lead in uncertain times. We cannot be timid. You must be comfortable being uncomfortable. C stands for collaboration. In today's complex landscape, your success hinges on the convergence of multiple forces. You need to take an ecosystem view of your business and collaborate effectively with your partner. The best example is Amazon and how it has built a marketplace where you have vendors, buyers, brands, banks. So that is the best example, and that's how one need to think of as they move ahead. A stands for accountability. Businesses need to set high standards for themselves in terms of environment, society, and governance. And this is where the companies like Apple and P&G are doing a remarkable job by aligning their business practices with 3 P's: people, planet, and profit. Friends, in a world which constantly challenges the status quo, recognize it is just not about being prepared for the unexpected. It is proactively shaping what's to come. Whether you are navigating the challenges of a saturated marketplace, or seeking growth opportunities, or honing the precision of your strategic course, remember 3 things. Number 1, the next practice. Number 2, knowing the context. Number 3, embracing VUCA. All these 3 will lead you to become the exceptional and the extraordinary. In this new world order, be a pioneer, not a passenger. Shape the path, don't merely follow it. And remember, it is planes that run on autopilot and not businesses. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ganesh Bhai, for that wonderful speech. I think it had a mixture of all the 4 elements of a speech: to inform, to persuade, to influence, and entertain, of course. The 4th speech, the speaker will be evaluated by a young gentleman, but he's a very well established and Toastmaster. He's also attained the highest title in Toastmasters. He's a distinguished Toastmaster. But he started off pretty early. He started being a Toastmaster when he was in studying. And he's now, many times on stage, he has credited his success and his growth to the Toastmasters platform. The biggest feather on our cap at the moment is that he has won both the table topics and the evaluation contest in our club, and he will be representing the Bangalore Toastmasters in the area contest on the 25th of November. May I request DTM Lalit Dhanush to please read the guidelines.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The speaker today is attempting a project where the purpose statement of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Good luck to the speaker.
Thank you, DTM Lalit. The 4th speaker, he's currently serving in our ExCom as the treasurer. He's been a Toastmaster and a president earlier in Mumbai. He served as the president in a Mumbai club. And he's an application scientist in the medical equipment industry. He's passionate about Bollywood music and self-improvement. So I asked him, what is an alternative career which you would like to pursue? And he says he'd like to pursue coaching. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Ratan Shetty.
If life is a tapestry, a friend brings in color. Be it a friend for a reason, a friend for a season, or a friend for a lifetime. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. 2019 was the year that I was in Mumbai and was just a month away from moving back to Bangalore. I had just entered into a PG accommodation, and when I went to the place, I saw that it was a quiet area, and I was about to settle into the tent, into the retreat, and I said, temporary home. That's when my silence got disrupted with a voice that echoed. It says, "Hello, sir." The tranquil was broken by my co-tenant, who was an IT professional, and as our conversation grew, I saw that this man had a beautiful smile, one which could really unlock doors of one's impression, at least. He was a good conversationalist, he had good demeanor, and he had a charming smile. His name, Gopinath. As time went by, I realized that Gopinath was a night owl, and he used to work in the graveyard shift. Now this is actually harmless information, or so I thought. Because woken up at 2 a.m. at night with his nocturnal activities of getting ready for work, I was grumbling in the bed. This estate agent is in cahoots with this Gopinath. He is his friend for a reason. I thought to myself. Slowly, after a few days, I understood this is not the case. Then Gopi made that extra effort, now I used to call him Gopi, to ensure that there was quietness when he moved out for his working routine. He was a good conversationalist, as I said, and I told him, Gopinath, besides being a good flatmate, you are good company too. Gopi was interested in whatever I did. He used to listen to my Toastmaster speeches. One day he said, "Sir, I have come with you to Kandivali to attend the Toastmasters meeting." I said, "Come, let's go along." Not only that, he was also interested in my art of living gatherings, and he used to accompany me there as well. Some days were a little tough, and there I could get a taste and flavor of Gopi's understanding. Tough days, sir. He used to see me collapse on the bed and offered me the food. That was a constant in our shared space. I thought, in fact I said, "Gopi, you are a thoughtful person." "Thank you, sir." That's what Gopi came up with. Now I was on the verge of moving from my PG accommodation in Powai to Nama Bengaluru. But for Gopi, uniting with his family was a distant dream because he was stationed in Mumbai and his family was in the cultural hub of India, Chennai. And it would be a distant reality for him. No close prospects of him moving to Chennai in the near future. This did not deter him from his courteousness. And when the day came where I was to depart to Bangalore, it was a day of mixed emotions. And Gopi uprightly went across and bought a gift for me. "Sir, this is for you. Keep writing, sir." He gifted me a pen acknowledging our friendship and my pension for writing. Even after I moved back to Bangalore, I relocated. There were some issues with the landlord that kept lingering, and it was Gopi who helped me resolve them. A couple of months passed by, and I called Gopi, spoke with him, just wanted to say hello and find out how things are. And he said, "Sir, I'm moved to Chennai." Wow! Wow, it was so great. He moved and to his hometown, to his family. Fellow Toastmasters, during this journey, the friendship with Gopi, I mused and reflected upon the words by Miss Kohli. I don't recall her name right now. She's an author who's written the book Hint. And she says that the strength of our bonds, our emotional bonds, keep us afloat. I thought, yes, isn't it? The strength of our emotional bonds do keep us afloat. And they are the ECG, not electrocardiogram. Empathy, compassion, and giving. The power of ECG is the secret, as I realized, behind lifelong friendships.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ratan. I didn't realize that you were mimicking the Tamil accent, and then when you said cultural hub, I thought Kerala, because Kerala takes away all the titles. God's own country, there's so many things, so I forgot about Tamil Nadu. Now we will take a short break for 5 minutes exactly, a bio break, and we will come back and the second section will commence. Thank you. Second session of today is the table topics session, and it's an absolute pleasure to introduce the table topics master. When I joined Toastmasters 4 years ago, for the first 6 months, I never met this gentleman. Not that I was regular, he was also not regular, neither was I. I never got a chance to meet him. But then, when the next committee came on, it was the installation ceremony, and so they wanted me to create a video of all the past installations. At that point in time, we were over 40 installations. So they gave me the contact number and the name. So I didn't know this gentleman, so his name is 6 letters, so I called him by the first name. And he sent me all the pictures promptly, and then I started putting it together as a video. And then I'm noticing every installation, this gentleman is there, right there, holding his hand like that, taking the oath. And that 6-letter name reduced to 3 letters, and I started calling him Sir. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Nitin.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So now we are going to have a very interesting session on the table topics. For the new members, I suggest when the name is called, come over here, take your time, take a deep breath, give the indication to the time manager, and then give a speech. You've got 2 minutes. Use the full 2 minutes. Whatever you speak does not matter. What matters is you speak, right? So you come here and try to speak. And as Jose was mentioning, you know, my name fortunately or unfortunately got attached to Chennai. And I am finding it difficult to get out of this reputation. But still, the first topic I thought, let me connect it to China. When I went to China, I saw all kind of vegetables and fruits and all, and in different shapes and sizes. Even watermelon used to come in a square shape. You know, they used to grow like that. But except pizzas, pizzas used to be always round. I want to ask Toastmaster Sudipto, why can't pizzas come in square shape, and why only in round shape? Toastmaster Sudipto. Why in round
Thank you, Nitin. I will take your first advice and look at the folks and just smile. So why are pizzas always round and not square? For starters, it is delivered in a square box. Okay, but there is absolutely no reason why pizzas cannot be square. In fact, that gives me ideas to start a new startup which delivers square pizzas, and maybe we can do it differently. We can do square pizzas in a round box. So that would be an innovation I look forward to bringing to the table. And reason it continues like that is somewhat cultural also. When people get used to seeing something in a particular way, all sellers take comfort in familiarity, right? They want to make sure they are ringing with the audience, they are really vibing with the audience to sell something familiar to them. So that's why it has continued. But I promise you, we are going to change that. Thank you.
Even I have not seen, square pizzas in China, so I was wondering. The next topic goes to our dear Melvin. Melvin, can you come over here? I want to give the topic on this. Now, Melvin has been invited to a friend's place for a cup of tea. They're sitting in the hall having a nice cup of chai. Suddenly his friend's sister walks in without any dress. Without any dress. Melvin, the question is, what would be your reaction and why?
Thank you for this topic. I don't know what kind of a dream he had.
Chinese dream.
I mean, I wouldn't even imagine sitting and having chai and if my friend's sister, I don't know which kind of a friend I would be talking by. Probably I would call them friend. It won't be a friend. I could only imagine closer to China and maybe near Thailand that could be happening. But anyway, that apart, in Toastmasters, at the beginning of the session, they say, avoid talking about politics, religion, and sex. And once one of the Toastmasters said, why we don't talk about it? And for me, cheekily I said, because we talk about it all the time. But the answer was supposed to be, because it shouldn't hurt somebody. Actually, we are scared to talk about these topics because we may get hurt. Something, we are all experts in all these three. Put up your hand if you're not an expert in any of these three. See, all of you are experts. Nobody is willing to put up their hand. Because we are all experts in politics, religion, and sex, of course, I'm telling you. But we don't want to talk about it here because we have so many other wonderful subjects to talk about and place to train. So let's regale ourselves with what's happening at the Toastmasters Club, learning more, giving more.
So before we met for the meeting, Melvin specifically asked me, give me a topic only on sex, politics, and and one of the answers to that question, which I had read a long time back, is my reaction would be to lift the child and give her a big kiss. Because contextually, if somebody's walked in, it has to be somebody who's very, or mentally off, something like that. So the point is, whoever comes here, use something out of the box and talk something about the topic. The next topic is before Facebook and Instagram, we had a life. Before Facebook and Instagram, we had a life. Toastmaster Srinivas. Before Facebook and Instagram, we had a life. Just giving him time.
Yes, it kindly resonates with me. Before Facebook and Instagram, there was definitely a life where we used to speak to our friends, go to their house, have chit chat. But now the information is available so fast that instead of speaking, I can see the Instagram what they are doing and what they are eating today. Right? With this, what is happening? We are more on the social media, not actually connected with people. Like in COVID, I understood that we were not allowed by government. That's okay, but after that also people have become so addicted to social media. What happens in Virat Kohli's house, what he eats, what he does, how many times Anushka and Virat are going to gym, rather than thinking about what they are gonna do in life. It's all about heroes and heroines, what they do and what the cricketers are doing. So definitely I miss those days, but it's okay to be also not to be an old timer and not adjusting your times. It is okay to use this Instagram and Facebook that can give you some information which you would have not thought. Over a period of time, it's all about balancing the both part of the world, the digital and this. That's why in our Toastmaster Club, we have a digital version which you can see on Sundays when Suhas will upload. But when we meet all of you in person, that gives the real vibe and energy. When we happen to hear from so much people. So that's what I wanted to tell. Thanks.
Thank you, Srinivas. Like Srinivas, we have many young members here. I'm sure they're all now busy, apart from Facebook and Instagram, busy dating, to find a right partner. But one of the questions normally everybody has is what not to say and what to say on a date. I would request our international member guest who has come here from all the way from Malaysia to speak on what not to say on a date. To Uma, on a date.
That question is very close to my heart because it reminds me the moment when I met my husband. I drove Mazda. So my parents got me a car and I was using the car for my work and that's how it has been going. So I think almost like 6 months after I got the car, I need to send the car for a workshop to service. And what happens is that I sent the car for service and I came back. And I used my brother's car and I went to work. And after I'm back from work, my brother has already took the car and he's already in the house. And when I drove it the next day, the problem was still there. And I told my mother, oh mom, I think something wrong with the car. And she said, okay, your brother is free. Send him again. So he went there to the service center again. So he went to the service center and the car came back the next day and it still wasn't doing well. And I thought, okay, something is wrong. So maybe I need to do something about this seriously. I got pissed off because I'm following my brother's, I'm taking my brother's car. Then the next day I went to the service center. I took a half day. I went to the service center and I straight went and met the service advisor. And I scolded him from A to Z. And fast forward 2 years after that, I got married to the service advisor.
Oh my God.
Thank you. And thanks.
She's from Malaysia Toastmasters Club, and we are honored to have her here. Thank you very much. The next topic is our greatest achievement is to know when to keep quiet. Toastmaster Gandhar. Our greatest achievement is to know when to keep quiet.
And also when to say namaste. There are so many times in life when we want to say something instinctively, immediately jump and say something. It could be those times when you're not thinking straight. That's why it happens. You won't just jump and say, no, it didn't happen that way. And probably that is the moment when it's the split second when you have to think. Bite your tongue. Stay quiet for a minute. For a few seconds, maybe not a minute. And then decide, should you say it or not say it? And then, what should you say? And finally, how should you say it? Because that split second of your instinctive reaction makes a world of a difference between how the relationship or the conversation is going to go. And if we use this, I'm talking about the table topics. I sometimes am a culprit myself. We do get very instinctively and immediately want to give a rebuttal kind of a thing. But we need to do that where we need to first keep the split second, think, should I say? What should I say? How should I say? And maybe with that you start connecting your thoughts, just like how I'm connecting my thoughts right now. So it's very important that we should think and be calm. That's the only way we can do it. Sometimes silence is good and the split second silence has a value. With that, I hand it over back to the doctor.
Of course, while in China I had no option. I had to be quiet.
No, you were saying.
Yes. So next, when we talk about India and the development and all that, normally when we look at the cause, we come to a realization that education in India is one of the reasons why we are not going forward in terms of politics or many things. So the question is, should we have a free education in India? The simple topic goes to Toastmaster Robert.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. So it's my first time I'm talking. So coming to education, yes, it has to be a fundamental right. All of us need to get educated at the right levels. Once upon a time when we got independence in 1947, we were very, very bad in education. Quality education was not available. It was available only to few elites in India. Thanks to the Christian missionaries, they did a wonderful job. Thanks to the platform we were staying, they got this education to many, many people, and all of us got educated because of that. But today, our purchasing capacity has increased. We are a lot more affluent, and so we have all these international schools which are giving good education, quality education. But still, yes, the government schools lack the kind of quality. I believe some of our leaders are working towards giving the good quality education. Like I recollect one chief minister from Tamil Nadu called Kamaraj. He did an enormous work in giving education to poor people. There are a lot of people who can't even eat. Okay, they don't have food to eat, and therefore they leave their children to they don't let them to go to school. So he gave them free food and all that, and he brought them to school and he gave them education. So education, yes, it is a way of empowerment. All of us should know what is right, what is wrong. We should have the sufficient awareness level to treat people. So education should be given free. A lot of the Western countries, like I think in the United States, in the European countries, education is free, quality education is free. It's for all the taxes that we pay. We get good education, good healthcare, and India also should work towards that. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Now, as Toastmasters and also as in school days and college days, you read about the art of making friends and the book of the art of pleasing people. But what I have not read and what I want to understand is the art of annoying people. We need to annoy certain people. And I would like to invite Toastmaster Alok Simha to talk about the art of annoying people. I hope I'm not annoying him by giving this compliment.
It's a very out of the box topic. And I think annoying topic. I didn't say that out loud. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to annoy people, I think the first thing to understand is what part of life are they coming from? I mean, is it your personal life? Is it your professional life? Are you annoying them for fun? Are you annoying them just to piss them off so that they don't come back? Okay, I use an parliamentary word there. Are you annoying them to annoy them so that they don't come back to you? I think these are the aspects you really want to look at. Now, the easiest for me is to go to my professional life and say, how do I annoy, say, a prospective customer? You keep calling him, you keep texting him, and eventually if he doesn't really, if he still keeps annoying you, give him a high price so that he doesn't talk to you again. That is what I do in my professional life. Maybe in my personal life, things are a little different because I really don't want to annoy people. I don't really want to make people not come back to you. But who are the people you annoy eventually? They are the people who are closest to you. The people who you can take that liberty with. Maybe you end up annoying your parents, wantingly, unwantingly, your siblings. So how do you annoy them? You do things that they don't like. Maybe they expect you to behave in a certain way in front of certain people. They expect you to follow certain rules. They expect you to follow certain customs. You don't follow them, they get annoyed. Maybe you want to do it intentionally, unintentionally, that's a different thing. They tend to get annoyed. But the beauty of family, the beauty of personal life is that you eventually tend to go back to them, they eventually tend to come back to you. So how to annoy people? I think the way I've tackled this topic, I think it's been difficult for me to annoy people. But yeah, it's something to ponder upon. I just hope that I don't get people in my life that I really want to annoy and push them away. That's my take on the topic eventually.
Couple of times I have managed to annoy, you get a lot of marketing calls. People just call, offer you loans and so many things. First thing I do, sometimes the moment I realize that it's a marketing call, I speak in Tulu. Now Tulu is my local language, I know 100% they won't understand. They'll try to find out which language is speaking, they give to somebody who knows Telugu, Tamil and all that. I continue to speak in Tulu and annoy them. The second one is on the loan. Somebody asks for loan, I say I want loan. For what? For drinking. I mean, there's various ways we can annoy people, at times we need to have that skill. So, the next topic is about daddy and mommy. Daddy is the boss at home till mommy comes home. Rashi Palgola. Daddy is the boss at home till mommy comes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Daddy is a boss at home. I think he always has been. That's the kind of image he has portrayed of himself, and that's how he wants it to be. I'll tell you why. Because when a person represents himself as a strict person, as a person who does not entertain silly things in house, you do not annoy that person, you do not irritate that person, you be at your best. While the other side, when your mom entertains every single thing about you, you irritate her the most. So my dad has always decided that he will be the strict figure at home who will not allow anyone to disturb his peace. So all of us, be it my mom, be it my brother, be it me, we have always been at our best when he's at home, and I mean that's the kind of image he's always wanted about himself. So even if my mom tries to be the boss, she just can't because she's too sweet.
I think all of us at some point in life had a crush? I'm sure Melvin would have had. Because he is looking at very seriously. So facial expressions, sometimes reveal the truth. Now we have a young Toastmaster with us who is going to tell what is a crush and why it is called a crush. Toastmaster Vishal. Vishal left. Thinking, but we have Toastmaster Priyanka. Sweet and white.
Crush the topic.
It's actually a very challenging topic. I think people call it a crush is because it is the first impression that you see about a person, or let it be even a thing, that kind of fantasizes things towards you, but eventually you realize that it was just a momentary thing, and that's why it crushes you. The time you realize it was just a momentary feeling or a momentary thought, nothing that is long lasting, you realize that how stupid you were to just think that this is something very important. Because there is something much beyond what you just see. It is important we see the detail of things, or even understand a person more than you need to actually just give an impression or get an impression about that person. And in this kind of busy life that we all are in, we very easily think of just getting a very fast way of getting an impression, or getting a solution, or trying to find out what is best for us in just a moment. And I think that is the biggest mistake that we all do, that crushes us into breaking the entire thought process that we follow. So only thing that I could probably urge you all is just be a little mindful before you fall into a crush. Over to you.
We have short of time. I'll call two speakers, one by one, for 1 minute each. The first topic is, the world will be a better place if women are in charge. The world is a better place if women are in charge, like Priyanka and the VP Education. Toastmaster Sampath.
I don't think I can support women saying that women are in charge, world will be a better place. Because I think majority of the people are here men, so they beat me. So I'm not going to support. So when I talk about women, I can tell in the other way that masculinism and feminism. So feminism, there was a period everything was done with muscular power. That period, women were considered that they were not needed to do that work, and they were considered as weak. Considered weak. But nowadays, technology is developed, and feminism is equal to masculinism. Because of the technologies developed, they equally work, and they equally everywhere they are equal to men.
Now the last topic to Toastmaster Akash. Akash, yeah, come. Akash is so pleasantly looking and so soft. I want to ask him one question. What makes you angry? What makes Akash angry?
What makes me angry is my football team losing.
spoils my entire weekend, and I don't have enough to go to college the next day. I keep complaining to my mom and dad, I have no interest to go to college, I'm not learning anything. No, it just pulls me down for the entire weekend because I just love football, and it's been just for the past 10 years in fact. Football or cricket, in fact Sunday the World Cup final is coming, and I hope we win because I have no need to go on Monday to college. So hopefully we win and they have a chance to win.
Thank you, Toastmasters, who all came here and spoke, showed the courage, and that's the way to go. And thank you for the committee to give me this opportunity. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nitin, for that such interesting topics. And I would want to take one topic on the crush. My crush, you won't believe, was this Prabhudeva. Really, I just thought I'm going to marry that guy. I had no clue that he was already married, had children, nothing. I had no, but I so earnestly believed that I'm going to marry that guy. I have never been at that point in time to Chennai, but I was so certain that I'm going to marry Prabhudeva. So that's for crushes. The third and final segment of this meeting today is the evaluation section. And the general evaluator for this meeting is our immediate past president. He also served in our club as the Vice President Education. By profession, he is a sector head for beverages and brewery in a US-based company called Solinus. But the interesting fact about this gentleman is that he's an absolute teetotaler. He's a doting son and to his parents, and he takes such good care of him, of both of them. Please join me to welcome Toastmaster Vaidyanathan.
Before I begin my evaluation, so Secretary, what you need to do is make a clipping of what she spoke about her crush, take address from Priyanka, send a courier to her home, address to her husband. Yeah. Nevertheless, thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Toastmasters. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this wonderful meeting. And before I begin my evaluation, so let me begin with a small story. So you all know about Lamborghini? Yes. What is that Lamborghini? Sports car, right? So it's one of the greatest sports cars that you have ever seen or we can ever think of. So Lamborghini was born to a family of peasants, that means farmers. So his father, parents, grandfather were basically into grape farming. But when he was young, he was so passionate about automobiles. When he was young, so he started designing tractors which were meant for farming. So by virtue of selling those tractors which were meant for farming, so he made a huge revenue, so he became quite rich when he was young. And in the early 60s in Italy, so Ferrari was a craze. So just like the way in which it is even crazed now. So Ferrari used to be a craze even in those days, in the year 60s, 1960s. So everybody in Italy used to dream of owning a Ferrari, and this gentleman is no exception. So Lamborghini also bought a Ferrari. So this gentleman, being an automobile enthusiast like the way your husband is, so he used to drive around the streets of Milan, and then finally he figured out that there are certain technical glitches which needs to be addressed in Ferrari to make it even more better in terms of performance. So a couple of things that he noticed were, one is the clutch being so tight, and then the engine noise was a bit louder. So he went to Ferrari showroom, and then he tried to meet the owner, and finally he got to meet the owner of Ferrari, whose name is Ferrari. And he said, sir, in fact I bought a Ferrari recently, and I feel that the performance can be improved if you find certain areas of improvement. These are the areas where you need to figure out how you can improve. The clutch is a bit tight, and then the noise is a bit more. But that guy ridiculed them. How come the son of a farmer, the great lawyer, I'm into automobiles. I know everything about automobiles. How come suddenly he comes and then he talks about some feedback? So he ridiculed them. And he said, I think Ferrari is one of the best. So it's being sold all over. And I don't think there is any need for us to change. And that's the beginning of Lamborghini automobiles. Now, last year they clocked close to 2 billion in turnover, and it is one of the competing companies for Ferrari. Now Lamborghini is a part of Volkswagen. That's a different story altogether. But not adhering to the feedback, or not listening to feedback, or not acting on the feedback that was given by Lamborghini to Ferrari resulted in a company, and it resulted in loss of revenue for Ferrari. So we know the importance of feedback, isn't it? So this is just a short story to tell you the importance of feedback. But why do we continue to ignore feedback? Very simple one reason. Because we are genetically wired to resist any change. Any feedback that comes in, we are genetically wired to resist those. So with that, I'm taking this big leap of faith that I will not be giving any critical feedback so that it can be palatable to most of you. And before I get on to the feedback of how the meeting went, I would request the evaluator of our first speaker, Toastmaster Brian, to come on stage and give his feedback about the way in which the first speaker went over.
Just like Shreya's mom took her for chats before or after a Bharatanatyam class, I remember the time when I was forced to wake up at 6:15 in the morning and I was in first grade. My dad used to take me to abacus class. I never liked that class, but the only thing that made me attend was that morning small cup of coffee with my dad, which I still cherish. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker, Shreya in particular. Good evening. Okay, so for the guests, a quick question. What kind of a teacher do you like? A boring one who gives you life lessons, or a humorous one who gives you life lessons? Beautiful one, but humorous, right? No, okay. I would like a humorous one. Okay, so it's a very beautiful way to add humor to your speech, and with that humor, giving in life lessons. She gave us 3 lessons today. Cherish the time you spend with the friends, never let go of your hobby, and when one door closes, the other opens. She added humor to her speech, and adding humor to her speech adds in confidence. The toughest part of giving a speech is making the audience laugh. And I am 100% sure that the really tiny human really did a good job there. Thumbs up. And yeah, moving on, the purpose of her speech. As I told you, she gave us 3 lessons. But keeping aside those 3 life lessons, I majorly believe that her 3 lessons brought us to a bigger lesson: gratitude. Her conclusion: be grateful for your friends, be grateful for your mentor. That was a very powerful conclusion. Toastmasters, when it comes to gratitude, it's a simple thank you. It doesn't put in much effort on your part, but the person you are thanking, it makes their day. Each morning, personal request: go to the janitors, go to the security guards, the place you work in, wish them a good morning, and you see a smile in their face. They'll wish you back. And when you go back, say a bye. When they do something good, give a thank you. Learn the gratitude part from your speech. That was the sunshine of your speech here. Moving on, just now. You were excited about your speech. You lived your speech, but that again turned into a lot of unnecessary movement on the stage. There was a point in time where she slowly moved in her initial part, but when she was concluding, she was rapidly moving on the stage. You had good body language when you were moving around, but that body language was in a way resisted and more dominated by your rapid movement. Take my suggestion and next time stand in the front of a stage and be conscious about a movement. The second thing is your pace. Your timing was 5 minutes 45 seconds and you spoke very fast. There were some parts of your speech where I did not grab as an audience. You had 1 minute 15 seconds. I really think that you could have used that 1 minute 15 seconds in a very better way in what do you mean? Really telling out your words. You had sunshine in your story. If this storm fades down, what happens after a storm fades down? You get rainbows, right? If you add sunshine and if the storm fades down, I'm pretty sure there will be rainbows in your next speech. All the best for your next speech and congratulations. Back to you.
I think the speaker was beforehand that evaluator is going to take 1 minute 15 seconds more. So she cut short the speech by that much. So very well done, gentlemen. So the next evaluator is Toastmaster Abhay. So Abhay, please come on stage.
Stories that you live by are the stories that you live by. Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our storyteller sheep. Good evening. Good evening. Now, when we pick a story, we usually go back to some source or our life. And I thought that Sheep went back to the mother source of all stories, which is his grandmother. And in that, I think he made a great connect with the audience, because I think each one of us definitely has a story with our grandparents. And in doing that, he laid out a very calm and casual way of connecting with the audience, explained about his grandmother and created character, conflict, and dialogue, which are the main pillars of any story. So you always get interested when there are character, when there is conflict in the story, and when there is dialogue between two people. And many speeches are said here or spoken here, and they have a lot of light and dark humor. But I think our speaker had humor in the light as well as in the dark. So that was really good, well done. Now, in terms of the objectives of body language and vocal variety, I thought that you had a lot of power, pace, as well as pause. The only thing that I found was when it came to dialogue between your grandmother and yourself, you could have changed the tone. Like you saw Ratan do, sad. You could have probably imitated that too. And in terms of body language, I thought you used a lot of gestures very effectively, moved around the stage in phases of your story. So I think in that way, audience, you think the objectives of body language and vocal variety were met? So that says it all. So I think that you met those objectives very flat. The other point where I would like to get your attention on is something peculiar that I found when you are bunching words together, when you said words in quick succession, the vocal variety suffered, the tonal clarity suffered. So I think that's one area where I'd like to challenge you on. And having said so much, I'd like to thank you for that great story with your grandmother. Thank you so much. All the best to you.
One of the finest humorous speakers that we have ever seen. So Toastmaster Sheep. So one request is please do come to our club regularly. Okay, this is the first time that I am seeing you. I don't know. And our next speech is going to be evaluated by the Humor King DTM Toastmaster Vijay.
They say your words can lie, but your body can't. Mr. G, your Toastmaster welcome guest. What I mean to say is your body language must be in sync, harmony or congruent with the words that you are uttering. Let us see how Toastmaster Ganesh Pai fared on these fronts. He mentioned he had to leave, has attended a meeting, so in absence here is not the feedback not only for Ganesh, it's for all of us, most importantly, yours truly. First strong point Ganesh was use of gestures. I'm sure you agree with me, he gestured it very well in terms of saying how the plane deviated, the highs, the lows. He counted off 1, 2, 3. Gestures was Ganesh Pai's strong points. Second, facial expression must match with the content. Very well done by Ganesh once again. Having said that, let us see how you and I can improve our body language. Most of the time, Ganesh was standing over here, this part of the stage. Now he had 3 main points in the body of his talk. If I was in Ganesh's place, I would start with the first point here. While transition, second point, you also have a non-verbal transition, and the third point. So we use the stage to move laterally when you're moving from the first, second, third point to the body of your speech. That's one thing we could consider. See, I said he did have gesture, but if you agree with me, the gestures I felt were very close to his body. He said 1 point, 2 point, 3 points. Amazon, it's into FMCG, into books, into blah blah blah. If I were in Ganesh's place, friends, I want to share with you 3 things. Remember, the gestures are for the audience, it's not for the speaker. The speaker knows that, and because of nervousness, we hold the hands close to our gestures close to hand. You might want to bear that in mind. Gestures, they will be a little far away from your body, so that the audience can see. Now, another way of moving is forward and backward, like I always mentioned. We take a step back to tell the audience that information is not very positive. Now, in the start of the speech, Ganesh said the plane crashed. If I were in Ganesh's place, unfortunately, that plane crashed. So, taking a step back is always something negative connotation. When you step forward, good news. Now, he shared a message at the end of his speech. Only planes run on autopilot, whereas businesses must run with human intervention. So, it's telling us that it's important that we take part actively in business. Eye contact, I want the audience opinion. Sitting here, I just got the feeling that perhaps Ganesh was looking at the first, second, maybe third row. I just felt the last few rows were perhaps he didn't make eye contact. Anyone in the audience would like to just correct me if I'm wrong? Did Ganesh make substantial eye contact with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th row? I was sitting in the first row? Yes. Huh? Yes? Okay, I stand corrected sitting here, I got that impression. Okay, just to sign off, the last part is posture. Ganesh was at a good height, he stood straight, feet were about, shoulder width apart. He was standing tall, not only in terms of his height, but also in his speaking abilities. And his title was, speech title was Staying the Course. Ganesh Pai is staying the course to be an elegant, eloquent, and charismatic speaker. Back to the team.
Thank you. Masterclass in evaluation. So good that Ganesh didn't have the 4 points. Otherwise, while he was moving laterally, he would have fallen off the stage. 1, 2, 3, the edge of the stage, he went literally, and then the 4th, jump out. But you stand corrected by one more reason, because Ganesh was staring what they Khana and Priyanka. I don't know why. So now it's time for DTM Lalit to come on stage and share his evaluation about the 4th speaker.
A story is a gift that can transport any human being back into a beautiful dream, said J.K. Rowling. Today, Toastmaster Ratan, I want to tell you that you were an absolutely amazing storyteller, just like J.K. Rowling, because everything that you did and spoke on stage transported me to that dorm room that you spent with Gopi. Now let me tell you all the things that you did really well. Voice modulation, body language are the gifts of a great speaker. But you, my friend, are a champion speaker. You added more to it by involving characterization. You used the stage well, your gestures were on point. The best part about your storytelling ability was that you had a plot, you also had characterization, and you had the setting of the environment. We knew exactly where you were. Now, if you ask me, Lalit, what should I actually do to make this an amazing speech? Because I believe it was really good, but not amazing. With your permission, sir. Number one, I told you the three things that existed: setting, plot, characterization. But what was missing was the plot twist. Because a plot twist is reality's gist. Each one of us have the ups and lows of life. I felt your story was great, vivid, but it did not have a twist. Let me give you a sample as to how you could have actually added that to your entire story. When Gopi was working at 2 a.m., I got super annoyed. I looked at Gopi and said, "You want me to take you to art of leaving? I will show you the art of leaving." And then Gopi said, "No, Ratan, please stay." I gave him a punch on the face and I walked back. And then I regretted my actions. Now what I'm trying to say is, I know that sounds a little harsh. What I'm trying to say is, high emotions capture people's attention. And that's what a story does. In storytelling words, there's a term called kill your darling. Either kill yourself if you're the hero, or ensure there's a villain. Don't go by the little sense of killing, but I'm trying to say emotions must be had. Second, when you also mentioned the quote of Mrs. Kohli, I was thinking, when did Anushka Sharma write a book? But then you said you don't remember the name. Nobody cares about the name. Just tell us the quote, because that's where the value add is. The other side of this entire evaluation that I want to give you is, if you add these few things, I can promise you that you will take your speech to the next level. Because now I'm being super critical about your entire speech, and I've seen you with your speech around 6 years ago, and today I must tell you, your transformation has been an entire 100%. And one thing that caught me on stage was everybody was speaking about their crushes. So Toastmaster Ratan, if you add my feedback into your next speech, I'm sure you're going to crush your next speech.
Then when you are attempting your next speech, what you need to do is go and hit someone on the face strongly, so that you will build that emotion. So come on stage and then give that emotional, charged up speech. So nevertheless, excellent evaluation from the Toastmaster. Dhanush, now it's time for the tag team to come on stage and quickly give the report in the next 3 minutes time. So the timer please. 1 minute each.
Today, most of the speakers were well into the grace period, only except evaluator 1, Toastmaster Brian, who exceeded by 1 minute 24 seconds.
Thank you. So, as Premier and as our counter Toastmaster Joshua. Sorry, Salome.
Everyone did a great job. Only 3 people used more than 5 words, which is Sampath, Akash and Shreya, and Hannah used more than 10.
And how about you, Gimli, sir? Yes, I think, yeah.
Thank you all. This is a grammarian report. I think the word of the day was used only by Shreya. That's what I counted. And there were only a few wrong usage, which I found. One is arms and amenities. I think the speaker meant arms and ammunition. Be grateful for, in that context, should have been be grateful to. Yeah, that's fine. And because the most significant parts were the wonderful usage and learning. So coming to that, one door closes, another door opens. Come in unique, go out unique. Frail as a flower, light as a feather. She was the beginning of several arguments. Your words can lie, but your body cannot. Our greatest achievement is to know when to keep quiet. And a lot of management learnings. Leap from best practice to next practice. On time, every time. Concept is king, the context is the kingdom. Exceptional and extraordinary, be a pioneer and not a passenger. Friend for a reason, friend for a season, and friend for a lifetime. The strength of our emotional bonds keep us afloat. If life is a tapestry, friends add the color. And some learning for companies, VUCA principle, V for versatility, U for uncomfortable, C for collaboration, A for accountability. And ECG till now I meant was something medical. Here it is E for empathy, C for compassion, and G for giving. Now, yeah, he had a wonderful quote to start with. Timing is not measured by passing of years, but what one does, what one feels, and what one achieves. Related to time again, I wonder how this speaker said this. Years passed by, my grandma passed away, and I passed my exams. Very fortunate. Now, our president told us to dream big, and what others cannot even dream. But let me tell you one thing and leave something for you to ponder. How to sing and brush the teeth at the same time.
You seriously made them out today. Now, coming on to the evaluation. So let me begin with wonderful Toastmaster thing. So he was in full form, isn't it today? Yeah, look at the topic that he has given. He has given topics related to nudity. And then he has given a topic on crush. And he also spoke about what not to speak on a date. And he chose the right kind of people. See, two of the naughtiest, oldest Toastmasters came on stage and they spoke about nudity. So nice. We are in full form. So we really enjoyed every topic of yours. And the best part is, we also got to know what not to say during a date and what to say during a date as well. So good that you have a lovely husband. So excellent job, Nitin. In fact, having 4 speakers and then trying to accommodate as many speakers as possible during a table topic session, and making the topic so interesting, because this is a forum where people come to spend a lot of time, 2 hours of time laughing and then spending some time with the friends. So they need to get back home with a very jovial time spent. So did the job wonderfully well. I think kudos to Nitin for doing the job exceptionally well. So next comes our Toastmaster of the day. As a Toastmaster, the primary responsibility is to ensure that the meeting flows like a river. Okay, it shouldn't stagnate, and people should feel that the meeting flows. The primary responsibility of a Toastmaster of the day is also to ensure that the speakers, the time between 2 speakers gets connected very well. And she did both the job brilliantly well. So she ensured that we flow along with the meeting, and she also ensured that every speaker gets introduced nicely. And she also spoke very well about how she nicely connected between 2 speakers. So excellent MC. But having said that, there are a few areas where you could have improved upon Toastmaster. One is the way in which you introduce few of our fellow speakers. One is, I don't know what's the kind of crush that you have on Brian. Well, so awe of Brian that you completely forgot to call him up to read out the guidelines, isn't it? So the primary responsibility of Brian or evaluator is to read out the guidelines. He was so in awe. So that's why she had used 10 hours. Now you can recollect. And second, when she was introducing sheep, he is into consulting and she forgot where the page is written. She lost the page and then she said the title of the speech is, where is consulting and where is the title of the speech? I think a bit of more preparation is needed whenever you are introducing a speaker, because that's something which puts them on a higher pedestal. When they come on stage, they need to feel that they are invited to the best of the introduction that they are given. And the third one, when she was introducing Ganesh, for a while I was a bit confused whether she was introducing Ganesh or Ganesh Father. She spoke more about Ganesh Father than Ganesh, isn't it? So these are the areas that you can think of how you can introduce a speaker in a better way in the allotted time. And finally, why an alternative career for Ratan? Why that question? He is already a scientist with Pal Corporation, and you asked him a question, what's the alternative career that you will have? Isn't it? So great, Hannah. But finally, we shouldn't forget the love she has for Nitin. She spoke about Nitin for close to 2 minutes. The introduction of Nitin went for 2 minutes. In fact, I was checking whether the clock is going to, whether I was checking because I was trying to check my eyesight as well. She took more than 2 minutes introducing. We don't know what's happening between them. That's a different story. Now, Let's move on to the sergeant arms. The primary responsibility of the sergeant arms is to ensure that the meeting hall is arranged well. That's the number one priority. Okay, they need to ensure that the meeting starts on time. Everything is perfectly placed. The chairs are arranged. The mic is ready, and then you need to have a gavel in place. So everything related to logistics or the arrangement of the hall is the primary responsibility of the sergeant arms, and we also need to ensure that the meeting starts on time. And this gentleman ticked all the boxes. A job wonderfully done, Toastmaster. And I think I completely forgot them because I was also an awe of Hana. So round of applause for our TMOD Hana as well. And then came our president. So president is a wonderful as usual. So the responsibility of the president is pretty simple. Again, you need to kickstart the meeting by inviting the guests to introduce themselves and then making them ease and then telling them something about the theme and connecting it to the word of the day. So there are quite a few things that the president need to do, and he ensured that every guest who came in for the first time were introduced. They got an opportunity to introduce themselves. And then he also spoke about the Howard Schultz story, the founder of Starbucks, and then the owner of the CEO of Starbucks, and then nicely related it to the theme, because the story was not in any way connected to the theme or the word of the day. But the way in which he connected at the fag, and I think kudos to you, President. So job very well done, keep up the good work. Excellent. And did I miss anyone? I didn't miss anyone, right? So, because I have a very bad memory, blessed with a very bad memory, so I hope I haven't missed anyone. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of this wonderful meeting. And now it's time for me to hand it over back to Han.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. The password for today's voting team for the members is Blaze, all in small letters, BLAZ. So I take the opportunity to thank our Vice President Education, Priyanka, for giving me the opportunity. It is great to be back on stage, and thank you so much. And over to the President, Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for all the speakers and role takers who came on stage today? If you observe, the Toastmaster of the day, the table topic master, and the general evaluator, the three main role takers for today were all the past presidents of our club. Put really good justice to the roles. Now, before we move to the awards, and while I give you some more time to vote, we have an announcement to be made regarding the club elections for the next term, that is January to June 2023. And as in the tradition, the election chair would be the immediate past president of the club. In this case, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. So I request Toastmaster Vaidyanathan to come on stage and make the announcement regarding the next club elections.
Time just flies, isn't it? We feel that just hardly a week before that they have taken vote. Now it's 5 months over. So the next set of officers are going to take charge from the 1st of January 2024, and to elect the next set of officers, we are going to have the elections on 1st of December, which is the first Friday of December. And the nominations for right from Sergeant Arms to President will be announced over WhatsApp message in our group. But the last day for filing nominations would be 26th of this month. So please do know, 26th of this month would be the last day for filing nominations. And there will be an opportunity for you to come on stage during the election day. That's a different story. But 26th is when you might need to file your nominations. The elections are going to be held on 1st of December for electing the new set of officers who are going to take charge for the next term between Jan 1st and then June, the end of June. So please do take part in the electoral process, and let's have a right set of people who are going to lead the club for the next term as well. With that, thank you very much. Over to our president.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. Sometimes we need that push. It was March of 2022 when I joined this club, and in the month of July I was already the treasurer. I didn't expect this, but I was recognized for the efforts and at least I was pushed. And now I am here in front of you, as I mentioned. So sometimes all you need as members is a push. So I would urge all of you to come forward, nominate. The voting, the registration form will be shared by tomorrow. Nominate yourselves and take part in the club committee as well. Second quick announcement before I move to the awards. As mentioned earlier as well, we have the area level contests happening on the 25th of November. That is the next Saturday at Trellix, EGL, Embassy Golf Links near Bangalore. The club's representative for both evaluation and table topic contest is DTM Lalit Dhanush. So he'll be representing our club at the area level contests. So please do register. We will reshare the form once again. Please do register. Registration is mandatory. Register, come support our contestant as well as you will witness beautiful contest there. Quickly moving on to the awards. The best auxiliary role taker, tag team player goes to our grammarian Toastmaster Jose Paul. The best speaker award, any guesses? Right, it's Toastmaster Sheep. He also gets the book which Hannah spoke about, authored by the third speaker, Ganesh Pai, as a mentor. The best table topic speaker award goes to our guest from Malaysia, Toastmaster Uma. The best role taker award goes to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. We have a tie for another award, the best table topic speaker, along with Toastmaster Uma. We also have Toastmaster Priyanka. She crushed the topic. The best evaluator award, if there is a tie, it goes to, first I will call out randomly, DTM Lalit Dhanush first. It's also shared with DTM Vijayan. Thank you all. I now adjourn meeting number 1403 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club.